Thank you for joining us today as we discuss a few areas to consider as you approach retirement. People often wonder when they can retire. For many of us, we desire that answer to be sooner rather than later. The good news is that you can be more definitive in finding that answer with the right preparation. In this webinar, we will discuss a few topics to think about as you move towards retirement. And having reliable solutions to these questions will help you gain confidence as you approach retirement. A quick background on our company. This webinar series is brought to you by AAFMAA Wealth Management and Trust. Our mission is to be the premier provider of financial planning, investment management, and trust services to the American Armed Forces community. Our parent company, the American Armed Forces Mutual Aid Association, has proudly served America's armed forces since 1879. AAFMAA is a nonprofit, tax-exempt 501c23 member-owned mutual aid association offering life insurance to all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces and their families. Children under the age of 23 are also included. AAFMAA Wealth Management and Trust is fully owned subsidiary of AAFMAA. Also, a few disclaimers. This presentation is educational. It is for general information only and is not specific investment, legal, or tax advice for any of you individually. Do not rely on this presentation alone to guide your investment management decisions. Since each situation is unique, your needs for financial services will differ. For individual advice, please contact us directly. We produce this webinar series in-house with our professional staff as a service to our members and to help them better understand the resources that are available to them. We have highlighted here two distinct characteristics that separate AAFMAA Wealth Management and Trust from other service providers. First is our fiduciary standard, which requires us to always act in our clients' best interests. And second, we exclusively serve the U.S. Armed Forces community. My name is John Sludjanowski. I am a relationship manager with AAFMAA Wealth Management and Trust, and I will walk us through this discussion today. Thank you for joining us. Here is our agenda for today. I will discuss 5 key factors that will help you decide if you are ready for retirement. And if you're not there yet, hopefully they will encourage you to start taking action now for a more confident and fulfilling retirement. There are simple ways to be prepared for retirement. A recent survey of baby boomers revealed great insight into their preparations for retirement. Of those surveyed, only 23% felt they were confident in their retirement preparations. That means over 3/4 of those approaching retirement are not confident they have adequately prepared. As we know, the life expectancy of Americans is increasing, which is a good thing. If you're 65 today and in good health, you can expect to live another 25 years or more. Your retirement planning should take this into consideration. Planning and preparation are the best ways to be ready for retirement. In this presentation, I will discuss 5 key questions you should ask yourself to see if you are prepared to retire. These factors can also be used as part of your planning as you approach retirement. The first major factor is financial. You will need to answer the question, am I financially prepared to retire? There are several items you must understand and have in order to be confident as you enter retirement. First, what are my sources of income in retirement? Most Americans are relying upon Social Security to provide a portion of their retirement income. Nearly 90% of those who are over 65 receive some form of Social Security benefits. In June of 2019, the Social Security Administration reported that 44.5 million retired workers had collected over $65 billion in Social Security retirement benefits, with the average monthly benefit of $1,471. Military retirees also have an advantage in that they receive a military retirement pension, which is a steady source of retirement income. Some veterans who have worked as a government employee or in the private sector may also qualify for an employer-based retirement pension, although these and other traditional pensions are becoming more uncommon. Without a traditional pension, retirees will have to look at their savings in qualified accounts, such as an IRA or a 401k, and other non-qualified accounts as sources of income in retirement. Once you understand what your sources of income will be, you need to look at the other side of the financial equation, your retirement budget. What expenses will you encounter in retirement? Once you retire, some expenses may be reduced or go away. You won't have to chip in for those expensive business suits or the cost of commuting. However, other expenses may go up depending upon your anticipated lifestyle, such as travel expenses or healthcare premiums. Most importantly, as you approach retirement, you should have a financial plan. A comprehensive financial plan will consider many options and possibilities in retirement. It will take into account taxes and required minimum distributions, anticipated expenses, such as a big cruise, and unanticipated expenses, such as the transmission dying on your RV. Also, your financial plan should take into account the protection of your assets, such as life insurance, health insurance, and long-term care insurance. Without proper protection, a catastrophic event could eat up your financial resources and potentially derail your retirement plans. Now that we have looked at our retirement budget, there is another monkey wrench that can derail your retirement. This is debt. A good guideline upon approaching retirement is to have your mortgage and any other consumer debt paid off prior to retiring. This will allow the payments for debt service to be removed from your retirement expenses and provide you with a greater peace of mind in retirement. Eliminating debt will allow more of your income to be used toward your retirement lifestyle instead of paying for purchases. Consumer debt primarily includes items such as credit card and car payments, but may also include medical debt and even student loan debt for some. Now, we usually associate student loan debt with the younger generation, but I have added it as another consideration. If you still have dependents while approaching retirement, as many baby boomers still do, perhaps even a grandchild that lives with you, then these financial obligations need to be considered and discussed before making the decision to retire. We all know that as we age, our health changes. Health costs continue to rise and may become a significant portion of your retirement expenses. From 2012 to 2016, healthcare prices increased by about 16% across the nation, which was about 3 times the general inflation rate. Before you retire, you most likely participated in an employer-sponsored healthcare program. Now, most likely, you may need to find a healthcare program once you retire. Medicare, a government-sponsored health program, is available once you turn age 65. However, if you retire before 65, you must find alternative healthcare insurance and pay the premiums out of pocket, which could be a considerable sum of money. For those of you who are retired military, you have a great healthcare plan with TRICARE. However, when you reach 65, you too will have to enroll in Medicare, and this, combined with TRICARE, is known as TRICARE for life. 2 other options for healthcare are to work a bit longer and keep your employer-provided healthcare plan, or contribute to a healthcare savings plan, or also known as an HSA, while you work, thus building a nest egg for medical expenses during retirement. None of us can perfectly predict the future. There is some inherent risk in all we do, even on deciding when to begin retirement. In retirement, it is not as easy to recover from unexpected financial challenges, since we don't have the time or employment income to rebuild following a crisis. Prior to deciding if you are ready to retire, develop a contingency plan of the worst case scenarios that may happen. Your car dies, a large repair expense for the home, costly medical emergencies, or a death in the family, just to name a few. Discuss these with your spouse, significant family members, and close friends about how you will respond to such events. Make sure your estate documents are up to date, including wills, powers of attorney, and trust documents. These documents are the legal framework that will carry out your wishes if you should become incapacitated or die prematurely. Although a core component of sound finances prior to retirement, a fully funded emergency fund is also prudent in retirement. Emergencies still happen even in retirement. A readily accessible supply of cash in an emergency fund will help you weather unexpected storms without derailing your retirement. An increasing trend in the US is that adult children are moving back home with their baby boomer parents. If this is your situation, make sure you have the hard conversations with your children about your expectations and your retirement plans. Come up with a plan to get your children financially healthy and not reliant on you in your retirement years. The younger generation has more time to prepare for retirement than you do. Even if your adult children are not financially dependent upon you, it is still important to discuss your financial and retirement expectations and plans with them. Involve them in the conversation, even the difficult and awkward parts. It is much easier to discuss these topics prior to a crisis, when emotions are calmer and time isn't a concern. Make sure your loved ones are aware of your wishes and that they know the location of important documents. Probably the most important question in deciding if you are ready to retire is determining what you will do in retirement. Up to now, you have had a purpose and mission by being fully employed. Through work, you had meaningful activities each day and a social network of people to interact and reply upon. Once you retire, your office environment goes away. What will you do with your time? Who will you interact with? As you approach retirement, it is important that you continue to set goals, perhaps even develop a bucket list. These goals may not be as stringent as they were while you were working full-time, but it is important to set a framework for how you will proceed in retirement. Perhaps you will become more involved in the community or a charitable organization that you feel strongly about. Maybe you will take on new hobbies and recreational activities. Many retirees travel more. If so, make sure your budget includes the expenses of travel. Be sure to discuss these issues with your spouse and significant people in your life so that they understand your expectations in retirement and that you hear what their expectations are as well. With proper planning and preparation, you can confidently determine whether or not you are ready to retire. As we discussed, there are 5 key questions to think about before you move into retirement. Don't go it alone. Seek professional advice. You may only get one shot at retirement, and this is one of the biggest considerations you will make during your lifetime. So it is worth seeking the opinions and advice of others prior to making this decision. If the financial numbers don't work out quite yet, consider working a few more years or transitioning into retirement through part-time or consulting work. And again, Be sure you have a plan for what you will do in retirement. Time and health are your greatest assets. You can be confident when it comes to time to decide and to finally start retirement. With sound financial planning that covers the 5 areas discussed in this webinar, you can have confidence when it is time to finally exchange those business suits for a lounge suit or golfing attire. Displayed is my contact information for those of you with questions. The relationship managers at AAFMAA Wealth Management and Trust are here to help you with your retirement plans and the transition into retirement. We can look at your portfolio and see if it matches your retirement objectives. We offer a free portfolio review for all military veterans and retirees. This second look will give you a fresh perspective and may help you with the decision to retire. Like every good plan, retirement planning requires excellent people to achieve success. You don't have to invest alone. Seek professional help when preparing for retirement. And talk with your family and close friends too. Let them know what your expectations are for a successful retirement. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to speaking with you in the future. As we conclude, remember this presentation is educational. It is for general information only and is not specific investment, legal, or tax advice for any of you individually. Do not rely on this presentation alone to guide your investment management decisions. Since each situation is unique, your needs for financial services will vary. For individual advice, please contact us directly. We produce this webinar series in-house with our professional staff as a service to our members and to help them better understand the resources that are available to them. For individual advice, please contact us directly. Thank you.